I knew something was wrong the moment I opened the front door and heard nothing. No TV humming, no dishes clattering, no soft singing from the kitchen. Just a heavy, unnatural silence that pressed against my chest. Silence like that doesn't happen in a healthy marriage. I found Emily sitting at the dining table, hands clasped so tightly her knuckles were white, her eyes locked on the wood grain instead of me. The last time she'd looked that tense was at her mother's funeral. I whispered, stepping inside. What's going on? She flinched like she hadn't expected me home early. That was the first crack. The first confirmation of what my instincts had been screaming for weeks. We need to talk, she said. Not we should. Not can we. We need to. My stomach sank. Okay, I said carefully, hanging my jacket on the chair. What's wrong? She exhaled shakily, as if preparing to confess something unforgivable. And in hindsight she was. I slept with someone, she said. My world didn't crash. It didn't explode. It simply hollowed out like the floor beneath me turned to smoke. I didn't speak. Couldn't. She looked up at me then. Eyes glossy, guilty, terrified but not sorry. That was the part that burned. Who? I finally managed. My boss, she whispered. The room swayed. I gripped the back of the chair to steady myself. Her boss. The man she'd sworn was just a mentor. The man she'd told me not to worry about. The man whose name she defended every time I asked why she was working late again. Why? I asked. My voice sounded distant, cracked, not mine. She swallowed. Because he makes me feel something I don't feel anymore. Something you don't feel with me? I asked. Emily nodded, her eyes darting away. A knife would have hurt less. How long? I asked. 3 months. 3 months of lies. 3 months of traffic was bad. 3 months of slipping into bed quietly so I wouldn't notice her showering again. 3 months of telling me she was tired when I reached for her. I stepped back, unable to stand so close to her. Did you end it? That was when everything truly died. She hesitated, not long but long enough, and then said the words that carved themselves permanently into my memory. I'd do it again. I blinked. What? I'm not going to lie, she said, eyes hardening with an honesty that felt like poison. I don't regret it. I liked how it made me feel. Alive. Wanted. Seen. And I didn't make you feel that way? I whispered. She shook her head. It wasn't rage that filled me. Just a cold, dense disappointment so heavy I could barely breathe. So what now? I asked quietly. She looked down again. I don't know. That answer told me everything. She didn't want to fix us. She didn't want me. She wanted the freedom to hurt me again. Something inside me shifted. A clarity. A sharpness. I straightened. Then I'll decide for us. She looked up quickly. Maybe expecting a fight, maybe expecting tears. But there was nothing left in me to give her. I'm done, I said. I'm done being your safety net, your backup plan, your emotional punching bag. If you want him, go to him. But you don't get to come home to me afterward. Her lips trembled. You can't just walk away from 8 years together. You walked away first, I said. Picked up my keys. My hands shook, but not from fear, from finality. Wait, she said, standing suddenly. Can we at least talk more about it? Why? I said. So you can justify it? Tell me how alive he makes you feel while I sit here dying inside. She flinched. Good. Pain wasn't revenge. It was truth. I loved you, I continued. God, I loved you more than anything. You were my safe place. My home. But you burned the home down and then asked why I don't want to sit inside the ashes with you. She blinked rapidly, tears spilling over. I didn't mean. Yes, I interrupted softly, you did. People don't accidentally sleep with someone for 3 months. Her mouth opened, closed, then opened again. Please, please don't leave. Not like this. I stepped toward her, just enough to meet her eyes. You told me you'd do it again, I said quietly. That was the moment you ended everything, not me. She covered her mouth with her hand, sobbing. But the sound barely touched me. It was like I was watching a stranger cry. I walked to the door. Where will you go? She whispered. Away from here, I said. Away from you. My fingers tightened on the doorknob. Emily, I hope he makes you feel wanted. I hope he gives you whatever you were missing. But I won't stay where I'm not respected. I won't love someone who treats my heart like a spare key. I opened the door. She stepped toward me as if to reach out, but stopped as if she knew she no longer had the right. I took one last look at the woman I thought I'd grow old with, and then left her standing in the quiet, empty house she had created with her own choices. When the door clicked shut, it didn't sound like an ending. It sounded like the first honest beginning I'd had in years. Help me hit 2,000 subscribers.